Hello, this is Brian with Counselor, and this is the new feature summary for March 2018. We'll start here with the changes specifically for Counselor Connect. So first off, Counselor has added a mass update feature for the physician list. This gives you the ability to jump very quickly into the physician list and update that full list. So previously, of course, you always can go right into an individual physician, but previously that was the limitation, is you had to go one by one. Now you can say, hey, let's look at all the physicians and let's make a mass update. All right, so you can make all the changes you want there, update the categorization, correct differences in spelling, for example, if you want to shift things so you're having everything says Dr. Travis Hafner, Dr. Henry Horton, right? You can go through and change that around so you have consistency. Um, in addition, you can look at only the columns that you want to view. So if you'd rather not have everything on the screen at one time, maybe you're just focusing on categorization and their name, you can view just those columns. Or you want to update the address and city and state, etc. Now there are some tools built in that when you are showing address, city, state, like with the patient profile, when you enter the address, Counselor will look out to the U.S. Postal Service database and update that information with the preferred address for that location. So including adding the zip +4 automatically. All right, but the point is you can update whatever you want for as many physicians as you want, or facilities as well, I should say. At the very bottom, once again, you'd go ahead and click Save, and then that will lock those changes in for you. All right. Now, in addition for Counselor Connect, there are a series of new placeholders in place. You can have, for your IC10, your CPTs and HCPCS, you can have a placeholder that will automatically fill in not only just the code, but the full code description as well. So some people display that on their professional reports, others put that on their invoices. It's obviously up to you however you use that, but now we'll have the full code description as well. All right, moving on to the changes for Counselor Complete OMS. Counselor now has the ability to indicate what staff members in your office can be responsible for an invoice, meaning who can be designated for that invoice. So we'll go ahead and click here on Clinic List, and then we'll edit a specific clinic, and then Advanced Settings, and next to Invoice, we'll select Settings. And previously, every person on your staff that was listed as part of the clinic would show up on this list as, actually there wasn't this list, would show up on the list that could be designated on a specific invoice. Now you're able to say, okay, we just want these individuals to be essentially designated for an invoice. Or you can leave it as all staff. By default, it will be set to all staff. That's entirely up to you. Now once you make your selections, you click Close and then Save at the bottom of the screen. In the same screen, we should mention that there's also the manufacturer list administration. That, once again, is clinic specific. So you jump in, edit the clinic, and then say settings next to manufacturers. This will let you decide specifically what manufacturers you want to see on the drop-down list when you're working on your line item administration, when you're creating an invoice or adding a loaner, or adding a device to a patient's profile. This is the list you will then see. Obviously, you can select whatever companies you wish or leave it at all manufacturers. When you're done with that, you go ahead, click Close, and once again, click Save. And just to reiterate, both those changes for invoice staff and for manufacturer list are done on a clinic-by-clinic basis. All right, so moving on here to the marketing letter administration. This is an area in Counselor that has continually grown. Let's click here under marketing letters, under forms and letters. You now have the ability to really customize the full layout of the letter. The newest addition to that is the ability to add or remove the footer. But of course, all these different areas can be added or removed as well. If you have any questions, of course, about creating marketing letters or optimizing them so that look as good as they can, please let us know. We're always happy to kind of go through your questions and make sure that this looks obviously as good as it can. Within each template, of course, you have the ability to see what your preferences are. So for some letters, you could have a certain layout, and other letters, you have a different layout. That's fully up to you. All right, let's jump back down to here to the Superbill Tasks. Pretty simply, when you're creating a Superbill, as you likely know, you can create a task for someone at that point. Off to the right-hand side of the screen, you have the ability now to designate a specific date. Previously, it would just select today's date as the task. Now it will give you the opportunity to choose the date that you wish. It'll automatically set the date to tomorrow, but you can change that up very, very easily. Um, if you have any questions, of course, about that, please let us know. But the idea is that you can create that task very quickly and then customize it along the way. And the last area here are new placeholders for the clinician's first and last name, so 2 new placeholders. There are a variety of uses for this, but the primary one is the call messaging feature. So as you likely know, Counselor recently released the ability to have integrated call messaging, so confirmation calls that went out automatically. Um, the trick with those systems is they don't do terribly well with credentials. So if you had AUD or FAA or CCC/F your name, it doesn't handle those terribly well. So what we recommend doing is using the first and last name placeholders and then using whatever prefix you wish for your name or for each member of staff. And it gives you the ability to very quickly set that template up and then have it sound obviously nice on those messages. Of course, once again, if you have any questions about it, please let us know. I should mention that those are based off of the first and last name in the insurance settings field. So if you use these placeholders and they're not automatically filling in, I encourage you to go into administration and look at your profile, and then check to make sure your insurance settings have your first and last name filled in. They likely do already, but it's a good thing to check. All right, and there are many other changes along with these. These are essentially the highlights. For many of you, we're reaching out directly to let you know that maybe some minor tweaks or different efficiencies we've built in. We always like to reach out to you directly and let you know that they're in place. So thank you so much for all your ideas, your comments, your suggestions. We love to hear it. We love getting new features out there and making them available for you rapidly. So please keep the ideas coming and have a great week.